Shoma Sandawana and everyone who will be watching this preview. We are back at the latest installment, the Yellow Corner, and we will be previewing our almost at MTN 8. Still have terrible memories at MTN 8. Our Kali knockout quarter-final fixture as we travel to the south of Johannesburg on Saturday evening, 6 o'clock, to take on the mighty Amakosi. And like Mangoba Mniti, I'm giving all my players a chance. I'm trying to keep the squad fresh. Today you see this one, tomorrow you see this one. So today I'm joined by Malume, who will be making his first appearance on the Yellow Corner in the new season, 2024-2025. Shabuze Malume.
I am always Iyzo. Once again, it's good to be here, and it's always lovely to be hosted by the Yellow Corner family. Thank you once again.
You are part of the furniture, the Yellow Corner, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the game on the Chiefs, we obviously have to start our previous game. Your thoughts on our last game against Cape Town City?
Um. Uh. You know, you have to be patient as a human being. You have to allow. If you have a leader, you have to allow the leader to lead you. We were skeptical about the lineup yesterday, having seen on what happened on Sunday. But this person spends more time with these players than we spend with these players. So game Mawane, it came in a way where are we gonna see another Sunday performance now, or is it gonna be something else? Then interesting enough, got to the stadium. The match was good for me. Players are showing the zeal to compete. Some of them, those who were not getting minutes, and then those who were getting minutes are showing they want to adapt to the new system. They want to grow. They want to raise their hand much higher, get more game time. So the game to me was okay. We didn't play to the normal system that Mangoba imposed to us, the system that whereby he wants to pin the opponent in a half, create more chances, score goals. We didn't impose that enough. We rather took the control of the match, stayed in our half, stayed in the second phase of the pitch more, rather than spending more of our time in the final third. So the game was just good for me, but I am impressed with certain individuals. They played so well. I was impressed by Neo Mayema coming from the break. Like second half, he was just unplayable. Like the Neo Mayema that I know, the Neo Mayema that I want to hear the Shiga role. I know it's difficult to hear on that role, but I feel and believe that Mayema is that player. So you also look at how Mvala has been superb since he returned from his promo works. So those are the players that I feel like they are raising their hands. Doing more. Batusi Ovas also had a stellar performance in that sixth role, but there are some areas of improvement that must come on him if he's gonna be in that sixth role. On that sixth role we have River, we have Tebza, so it doesn't need to have so many errors. So it's all about improvement. So the coach is trying to improve the whole squad with this rotation, in my belief, in my opinion. And then once everyone has gained the momentum, I think then we can have our team cheaper as always. So overall, now the game was good. Not to the standard, but it was good. I was impressed. Yeah, I'm okay. I was fed. I was full actually.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Malums. In the last preview, I was wearing the sunglasses because my eyes were still painful. Like I was in serious pain from what I saw against Polokwane, But today a ka kenya le diborele but di ka hlatswitse mahlo a ka with that performance. I think we played really well, man. We scored 3 goals, limited the number of chances that to them for them. In the first half, I don't remember Holman making a save. So I think we played very well, and the individual performances were really brilliant. Like we mentioned, Batusi had a really good game. The only thing that Batusi still needs to work on turning possession over. He needs to limit that. But yeah, Bonner, first game after a very long time, everyone played well. We're going into game here, Chiefs scored a brace. So yeah, really, really happy with that performance, man. Let's talk about our opponents, Kaizer Chiefs. In their last game, they faced Magesi and they played 2-2. They came from behind in that match, and they equalized. They were 2 down. So do you look at this and think this is 2 points dropped by Kaizer Chiefs, or it is a point game, and it shows their fighting spirit and zeal, going into this game, yeah, one of Sundowns, they'll come highly motivated because they were able to come back, or you think it's 2 points dropped? Because from my side, it is 2 points dropped. I think every time when every coach hires his plans or predictions for the season after getting the fixture, he looks at the games that he will most likely win. And I think Nabi penned that game as a possible, not even a possible, as a must win, and they didn't win it. And they dropped 2 points, and they go into this game as Sundowns. But morale not at its optimum best, but at the same time, the fact that they were able to come back from 2-0 down, and get an equalizer, it might have boosted morale. Yeah, but overall, I think it's 2 points drop. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like 2 points drop from them. You look at their game against Supersport where they won 4-0. You look at the game against Supersport again where they lost 1-0. They impose themselves momentarily, like they play in moments. They don't have a full continuity of their game. So to have them playing in halves, 30 minutes, they are excelling 30 minutes, then their tempo is done. So you look at all those those 2 games whereby they lost and won before coming into Magezi. They were a cheese that was knocking very hard. A cheese that was trying to play more into the opposition box, more into behind the opposition's defense. So it was a cheese that was trying to create more chances. As like their coach mentioned that he likes football that is much quicker. When you are much quicker and then you are trying to create more chances and then in less time, and also to try and get goals in that less time. So I felt like them going into that game and getting a point, it was a dismal feel for them, going into the game on weekend visit Sundowns. So what does it ring into your minds going into a cup game, and then you get such results on your league game, whereby you concede in the first 6 minutes of the game, and then you're gonna get your equalizer in the 76th, if not mistaken, 79 minute of the game. That's the longest period of the game whereby you were chasing. So those moments what I'm speaking about, whereby I've seen when we played them, they had only one half where they played. When they played Marumo the first game of the season, they only had one half that they played. The other half, it was them just sitting, not doing anything, not threatening the oppositions. But yesterday, they had a more ball position, more of the ball, but they couldn't be the big club that they are versus Magezi. To pin Magezi in a way that they commit mistakes, more mistake, maybe get a set play in a danger area or get a penalty or get an own goal, you have to push. Considering in the first 6 minutes, you have about 30, 40, 42 to last about 45 minutes of the game, of that first half, that you're gonna play, and then you don't create much chances, you don't pose much threat. It's a disarray. It doesn't yield or doesn't show signs of worry. You guys wanted this game more, or you came more prepared. You are trying to send a message to Sundowns to say, despite that us playing Magazine, but this is the game that we're going to bring to you. So you are coming very late in the game, coming back. But also you look at that, it's a good sign that there's a never die spirit. But you look at the opponent, who's your opponent that you're playing against. You get that 2 goals. This is maybe any team in the PSL. Let's say you're Stellenbosch, you Pirates or Sundowns. You concede that goal in the first 6 minutes. You know it's curtain, it's chai, because they are not going to allow you to come back that easily. So my case is also they were just complacent, they were just neglected, that they let out that lead, and then in a space of 2 minutes they are conceding goals. So Kaizer Chiefs, they are themselves to blame, drop 2 points, which where they were supposed to get 3 points and have those be recognized to their rivals who Pirates, that they won against Magisi, but now they drew. So it's a match made in heaven for them. So now, in my view, the momentary form that they are playing with, it's a red flag for them. They have to look at it. Do we have do we at least play 70 minutes of the game, and then 20 minutes, then we can suffer. But if you want to suffer for 45 minutes, and then in the next 45 minutes you are looking for a goal, you are looking for an equalizer, or you are looking just to come back, and then it's not gonna always come to you easily. So that's how I feel about them.
Yeah, no, like you said, the type of opponents and what you gain or out of that game says a lot. You know, yes, I know we lost against Polokwane, and someone would say, yeah, Lelo Nali Jeweki Polokwane, which is considered a small team. You know, uh, shortly, Malums, are you concerned the rotation, yeah, squad? You know, we haven't had a stable 11. You know, in a while, we've chopped and changed from game to game. Does this bother you?
Yes. Okay. I'm two ways. Yes, it does bother me. No, it doesn't bother me. Yes, it bothers me if you're gonna change your base, which is your defense, your two center backs most probably, or one right back or left back. If you're gonna change three of your defense, then it's a concern on me. If you're gonna change your midfield, it's your concern. Then the front three, I believe we have enough talent to get us goals. That can change anytime. Let's just flex our muscles there. Let's try and see who can get us goals when the other one is lacking getting us goal. So I'm just in between yes and no. But the yes part is okay, like as I've mentioned, change the front three, just rotate it, see it. But when you change it, please keep your Ribeiro there as your focal point, as your base, and then your midfield. You know, it's either you have to keep your Mukwena or River, and then defense like that. So I don't have a problem if the coach feels like this game we are gonna approach it with this squad. Let's go. We are in a we are in a new era. So when you are in a new atmosphere, you are new in a new place. You have to let yourself to adapt to it. You know, now we're in a phase whereby these players have to adapt to a new system. So everyone has to work now. When you come back after January, taba tsa hore we are giving the coach avocados, or you are giving coaches oranges and stuff to get game time. Yeah, fail. We want to kickstart the engine. The engine must be fully running. Now we're just doing the touch ups, everything to be set on. But also, when we are doing those setups, results must come. You know, we must create chances. I was looking at our XG versus Bulkane City, our XG versus Cape Town City. It's disappointing, you know. But I believe that it will change with time. Uh, as Shalulile has found his feet, I believe he has found his feet. That goal versus Golden Arms was the most important goal. You know, once he starts scoring, he never stops. So let's just keep rotating, but rotate very cautiously. Keep your base. That's it.
I know. I hear you, man. I think it has its pros and cons. When you look at maybe the poster on Akore, you keep the squad fresh. And everyone, when it comes to match fitness, they are almost at the same level. And you don't find yourself in a situation whereby when you bring in someone, his match fitness is so low, it's difficult for him to be able to perform because everyone else's match fitness is really high. But when you look at some of the cons on Nagore, one is that it stops you from having fluidity, in the team, momentum, because you constantly chopping and changing, players struggle to build that telepathy between themselves, So it's a tricky one. I understand to a certain extent why Coach Mangoba does it, but at the same time, I understand why it frustrates us as a fan base, So it really is a catch-22 situation. Let's go into this game, Yarona Chiefs and Malums. What do you think we can expect from both sides in this game?
Um, it's gonna be an interesting one. We're playing them for the second time in a space of few weeks, not even a month. We're playing them for the second time now. In our first meetup, yeah, it was a good game. It was an end to end stuff. Not end to end, but it was an end to end because each team had their own half, like I mentioned, or they played momentarily. So first half, Sundowns had the game to themselves. Like we tried to control the game, not posing much threat, but we really tried to unlock them. We really tried to pull them out up until we saw a gap, of which I also feel it's growing. That gap. You look at games from Sundowns up until last night. Rushin, what is it? Dudley and Miguel. You know, there's no telepathy at the moment there. There's like a lack of communication in those two guys, and they don't deserve defend their box so very well. You find them in wrong spaces. Those are the weaknesses that are spotted with them. So we pause on weaknesses again. We go back to the game we played with them. I said like we found a gap. We found it because of these weaknesses here, Rushin Totally and Miguel. I don't know how do they communicate, but they always leave a gap in between them. Or if it's not in between them, they are always closer to each other and leaving a window for a run for from a blind side or of their bodies or how they are positioned. So you're going into this game, we are expecting Chiefs now to be more cautious, in a sense that they would continue wanting to play behind us, continue trying to play us on counter like they did in the first game that we played with them in this season, trying to use Ranga's physique and stuff, but unfortunately, it ended last night. Now he's gonna face Umvala. That thing doesn't work. So it's in a case whereby I feel their game is stagnant. Their game it doesn't move from point A B C D. It moves from point A B and then it goes back to A. So you're gonna have them coming at you, but and then 5 minutes or 5 seconds after they are no more coming at you, they are consolidating. I don't know on what sense are they doing that or trying to find gaps again, but they are just gonna try and play on transition. But what's interesting is that our Highland is very good. We really played a good Highland Maubane. So I hope we are gonna bring that Highland again, just master it so very well that whenever they're gonna try to play Duzi or your Duba, I don't know how are they gonna find it, but uh, we have to be in a position that we don't allow them to play behind us. We don't allow them to overload a side and hit us that much. So this game to me, it's gonna be if one team finds their momentum, they're gonna run with it. If one doesn't find theirs, they're gonna suffer. And when you suffer, it will go with what's your pedigree like. Are you able to sustain the pressure and come out of the pressure and get something out of that bench? So it's up to them how they impose themselves versus Sundowns. But I believe Hore, for Sundowns, it's much clearer. You just allow them to do all their stuff up until they get tired, and then you that's when you hit them. Because this thing I wanna play on moments, teams have to capitalize on that, and you're gonna come right. But also you have to put a very 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 sharp eye on who to do the Shabalala. The boy is just very good, very 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 lively for that Chiefs team. Also Reno is class, we know. So that one, he's manageable. He's class, but you bring some mind games into him, then he's gonna be shy. And then also a shout out to Uduba. Uduba as well. It's another player that we have to keep eye on him. And then the physique strength, yeah, Ranga. I feel like we're gonna deal with it much better this time. We have enough time to have seen how they play, how they move the ball around. When you look at us, we just have to play our normal game. I hope and believe we are not gonna do so many changes from past two games. Just bring a team that's stable enough, that the team that will pose good threat on cheese, a team that will be good on offensive and defensive side of the game. Um, when we were under pressure, less mistakes, because this is a high caliber game and A class. We don't want to find ourselves feeling like we were hardly done by the reps. We just have to win this game fairly and square. I am really tired of we win against Chiefs and then we're being told that we benefited. Whereas that's not our problem. It's the officials' problem. So I feel like right now on our side, we just have to pose ourselves good enough. Front three, just put back the one that played against Captain City. We are just gonna eat. That defense, yeah, cheese. Nah, we were gonna eat, man. For their midfield, we were gonna dominate and dominate and dominate.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing your views with us, Malums, on what we can expect from this game. From my side, man, I've watched the game here, the league game at the stadium the following day, and I've watched it again this week. So I've watched it 3 times. And one of the main things that I picked up is that when we were off the ball, they had possession. Allende followed Serino almost everywhere. Like he proper. I am not sure whether I should consider it as man marking, but he followed him everywhere because he started on the right and then he eventually moved to the left, and Serino Allende kept following him. So I think we'll see the same just to nullify that threat high Serino, because I think once you nullify Serino, you in a way also nullify do because do links up with Serino very, very well, So yeah, you basically in a way killing two stones with one bird. Even though do will definitely still have his moments because he's such a good player. And then when we had possession, they most of the time turned into a back five with Fosler and Duba becoming the fullbacks and Cross coming inside. They just wanted to make sure they nullify our threat more so on the right wing, or with Tapelo bombing forward. So, and I think Ribeiro kept on getting into good spaces in between that line, yeah, defense in the midfield. So I think him and Zwane, I think he will be key in that sense, yeah, getting into the right spaces in between the lines, as well as one of our aides, and I think we can head them from there if they close down the wide channel. You mentioned Horeranga, excuse me, for that threat, yeah, we won't see much of it, I think, because he honestly bullied both our center backs in that game, playing on their shoulders. He was smart not to stay in between them. So I think with Mvala, it will be tough for him because Mvala is very physical. And he will kick him Mvala if need be. So okay, before that's why I advocate for a dangerous foul play. No, I don't advocate for that, but I know it happens. Players, knock each other at times. So I think Mvala will do that for us. Ne? But at the same time, I have a feeling they might not start him. They might start Dupree for his pace to get behind our high line. Because when you look at the hunger, he's under so much pressure, from the fan base that Chiefs, because they say he's not clinical enough. So maybe they might play Dupree to get for him to run behind our defense, which will be a tricky, because that high line, that FNB pitch, the length is quite long, so hopefully we be able to nullify that threat before the ball gets to him if he does start. They also play a high line that we can get at, in two ways. The ball behind and then Reina's KCI, they get behind them. I saw Half Moon Ranya in our last game, a brilliant one from a bowler, Ronwen, just unfortunately the ball bounced and then it went to Kid. I think we can hit them, those runs and getting behind their defense, or get the second ball like we did the equal, I think it was the equalizer, yes, in that game. They win the first ball and then we take the second ball to them. They will definitely miss Castillo in this game. The aerial threat that he brings, man, from the corner kicks, the crosses, we saw that he almost scored in the game that we played Limona King when we made a brilliant save. He punished us in the MTN 8 semi-final last season. And I was watching build up a game and they highlighted something that's very important. Or he's the only midfielder who gets into at the box, So that threat that he brings, they will be missing it. Lastly, I saw us building up in a different, defending from high in a different way in our last game. Ribeiro is the right forward, Reina's the left, and then Shanley the focal point of attack. Yet when City were building up, Ribeiro and Shanley would swap, and Ribeiro will be central, Shanley will be on the wide channels. I think we wanted to use great Reina, just to track back or help press them high, and the six Bona in their build-up phase, they hide from the ball. They stand in behind the first line of defense, which is the attack, your opponent. So we need to force them to do that. They play the long balls, and then we win those balls. The other thing that I want to mention is how impressed I was with what Grant was doing in that game. They Cape on City. He was using the pitch every time there was a space in front of him. He would use that space. So if it does happen, I would like to see him do that as well. We are running out of time. When Malume, can you quickly give me your lineup?
The lineup, yeah, basic education ball. It's Williams, Morena, Modiba. The best pairing in Southern Africa, Yambala Iligrand, Debza Mkulise Mayema, and your front three are Shalulile, Ribeiro, and Reynas.
We have similar lineups. Mine ke Williams, Mudau, Kekana, Mvala, Mujiba, Mokoena, Six, Mayema, and Allende. Mangoba said something, that left side, that left foot or left side is very important when he was talking about Mayema. So I think he might start him. Ribeiro, Rina shall be the score prediction.
3-0. In 90 minutes, 3-0. I have Shalulile. Shalulile has a goal. The Brazilian Magic will be there as well. And then the other one is just going to be a bonus from any player.
I think it will be 2-1 once again, and 1-2 actually to us, and will progress to the semi-final. Thank you for joining me, Malume. Thank you, Masandawana, for watching. Please continue subscribing. The next preview will be on Monday. Preview here, our second game of the season, Le Polokwane City, as we host them at Loftus next week, Wednesday. Until then, Sharp Masandawana, Sharp Malumes.
Sharp.